Out of the gates and ready to go. Welcome into this live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we're going to go over the latest news and rumors on your Seattle Seahawks, including a new rumor about a potential trade for Tyreek Hill that we'll examine coming up in just a little while from right now. We also have a brand new mock draft from ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. and Field Yates. We will show you the picks they made for Seattle. We'll react to them coming up. And then it is Wednesday. That means it is mailbag day. It is your last chance to get your questions in for the week that you have for us. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get your questions on today's show. Appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with us. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling. We're coming at you live here from the Chat Sports Studios in Dallas, Texas on this very fine Wednesday afternoon. And we got another live show tomorrow, folks. We're going to be here doing a live mock draft with all of our Chat Sports channels as we will pick all the picks for every round, the first three rounds, that is. And I will get to make the selections for the Seattle Seahawks live in real time tomorrow on our mock draft special. So don't miss out on that. That'll be tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern time, right here on Seahawks Today. So can't wait for that. Where are you guys watching from? I see Myron checking in from Martinsburg, West Virginia. I got Marty in Winchester, Virginia. I got Hot Sizzle in Tucson, Arizona. Got Jesse in Washington. I got Josh in Tacoma. Got Michael in Honolulu. Got Theron in North Dakota. I got Hot Sizzle calling out McMillan. We talked about him a lot this week. Brian is checking in from Mexico. Good to see you. Michael says happy Easter. Happy early Easter to you. Happy Passover week to everybody out there. Lon checking in from Oregon and lives in Columbia now. Very cool. Young is in Bonnie Lake, Washington. Seattle says no to Tyreek Hill. He's a head case and a team cancer. Teddy G is in Lake Stevens, Washington. Just to name a few of the places that we're at. By the way, we're going to get this Tyreek Hill segment coming up in just a bit. I'm already seeing some people complaining about why are you wasting your time on talking about Tyreek Hill? Well, we owe it to you. We are a news and rumors channel here at Seahawks Today, and it is our job. It is our duty. I would not be doing my job if we did not cover every single Seahawks rumor that is out there. And FanSided put this out this week, this idea that Seattle was one of the top trade destinations for Tyreek Hill. So us talking about it, we are only doing our jobs. If you don't like it, too bad, so sad. We are going to talk about Tyreek Hill and the possibility of him being traded to Seattle in that first segment, whether you like it or not. So deal with it. Let us know where you guys are watching from. I got Robert in Mount Vernon, Virginia. Got Greg in Washington. Eric Productions in Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Santiago's in Edmonds. Maj is saying he's too old. We'll talk about him coming up in just a bit. Maj also checking in from Claremont. I want to know, who is the greatest Seahawks draft pick of all time? This is an opinion. There's no wrong answers here. It's totally up to you guys who you believe is the greatest Seahawks draft pick of all time. It could be somebody recently. It could be somebody from yesteryear, many, many years ago. Weigh in the comment section and let us know who you believe is the greatest Seahawks draft pick of all time. Chime in and let us know. I'm checking in the chat right now. Space Ghost says, go Hawks. Steve is checking in from British Columbia. Josh says, love it, Tyler. Get him. Hey, exactly. We're just doing our jobs here. Lon says, I'm amazed how you filled the time. It's not easy in the offseason. Good job. Hey, we're trying. We're trying in these streets around here, and we're making the most of it. I can tell you that much. Maj says the greatest Seahawks draft pick of all time is Sean Alexander. By the way, I know this is kind of off topic, but since you brought up Sean Alexander, how in the hell is Sean Alexander not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame yet? He's been retired for how long now, and he is still not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? To me, that just blows my mind. It's ridiculous, quite frankly, that he's not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think he should have been put in the Pro Football Hall of Fame a long time ago. Who else? We got Lon saying Cortez Kennedy or Richard Sherman. We got Myron saying Kurt Warner. I got Seattle Bicycler saying Walter Jones. Brian saying Cam Bam has to be the best draft pick. Sean Alexander, Hotel Jones. We also got Mike saying Richard Sherman. Greg saying Walter Jones. Just to name a few on that front of who some of the greatest are. Keep giving me some more names. Who you think the greatest Seahawks draft pick of all time is? Chime in that comment section. Let us know. I got Hank saying trade 50 and 52 for 22. Hank, what do you have in mind for that 22nd overall pick? Doctor says Russell Wilson. Okay, Russ was a very good pick. Getting him in the third round, getting some incredible value, and winning a Super Bowl with him, that's a good answer, even if some people don't like Russell Wilson. We got Big Dog saying Earl Thomas. Maj saying Steve Largent. Let's see. Josh Woodward going with Big Kenny. Big Kenny's a good answer, too. I like that as well. Good answer on that front. Myron, he's got a $5 super chat. We haven't got to the menu yet. We got people already super chatting us. Looking for some screen time on today's show. We'll go to the super chat menu momentarily. Tell me some good news. Any news about the O-line, trades, free agency, or anything? So the most recent news item that we have for you, two things. One, it appears that the Seahawks have their focus on their first-round draft pick on T-Mac, the wide receiver from Arizona, who I love a lot. I know some people aren't too excited about drafting a receiver in the first round, but he is one of a kind. So if he's still there, then by all means, I wouldn't be mad if they draft him with that first round pick at 18. And there was one thing as far as the offensive line goes. I think it was Bill Barnwell that said it this past week that he believes that Seattle's got kind of a cheat code figured out of what they're going to do with this offensive line, that they are going to load up with those picks in the second and third round on the interior of the offensive line. And in particular, they're going to look at those two guys from Georgia as those possibilities. But no moves just yet. Nothing on the trade or free agency front. We got a lot of rumors right now. And one of those being a potential trade for Tyreek Hill that we'll be talking about coming up in just a few moments from right now. So that is where we're at, Myron. We're kind of in a holding pattern. We're just over a week away from the draft, and we'll see what happens when it's all said and done. So, Myron, that's where we are at right now. Appreciate you sending in that $5 super chat, Myron, and thanks for supporting the show. $5 super chat, that means a beer cheer. So I'll open up my first cold can of beer. Cold can of whoop-ass, as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say. There it is. It's not being boozled today. It's full of punishment. Cheers. That was in the menu. Cheers to everybody out there, as well as our guy Myron for sending in that first super chat of the day. Myron, thanks for joining us. Hope you guys have a fantastic Wednesday, the rest of your Passover week. Cheers. Go Hawks. All right. There we go. There we go. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Thank you all for that first super chat of the day and that first super chat coming in from Myron. Show Myron some love. Spam Myron in the chat for sending in that first super chat and making that happen. Let's go ahead and spam the chat. I'll give some shout-outs. Big Tex is working through some things. So yours truly will get to give the shout-outs today. I want to see as many S's as we can over this next minute in the chat, and we will shout those out. We already have 70 people in the building watching with us today. So when we get the S's going. That'll kind of wake up the algorithm a bit and let people know we're here, that we're live, and that we're bringing you this Seahawks content here on this Wednesday. We want this to be the biggest show we possibly can, but we need your help to kind of get the algorithm's attention and let people know we're here. So start spamming S. Let's get as many S's as we can over this next minute. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I got Mike, Lon, the Ron, Fabian, Steve, Myron, Michael, Seattle, the Ron, Victor, Mike, the Ron. Keep going. Keep going. I need some more S's. Bit of a slow start out of the gates, everybody. Keep going. Steve, Myron, Josh, Michael, Seattle, Brian, Fabian, Hank, Lon, Michael. Mike saying, I have a deal for you, Tyler. Make me an offer. Make me an offer. Who else we got? We got Brian, Santiago, Josh, Juan, Hank, David, Steve. 40 seconds gone by. Keep going. Faster, faster. Keep going. Santiago, Brian, Josh, J-Vids, Hawk, Josh. 10 seconds left. Seattle, Brian, Lon, Josh, Seattle, Hawk, Greg, Jay, Hawk, Brian. Very good. Very good work, everybody. Very good work, my friends. Thanks for spamming the S's and helping the chat out, and let people know that we are live and that we are hanging out with you here today. Here is the Super Chat menu as follows. First-time Super Chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5, we'll give you a beer cheers. $10 to take some shots. $20, spin the wheel of punishment. $50, we will do a beer bong in all its glory. Feel free to send us a Super Chat. Mike, there's too many messages. I didn't see what your offer was. Send me a Super Chat with your offer, and we'll get it on screen of what you have in mind, the deal you want to make us, Mike. I'm all ears. I am a man of deals. Let's see what you have in mind. And remember, too, if we reach $300 in Super Chats, that means we're doing a boot. $sign next to the chat box if you would like to contribute. And we're already at 25 right now, so we're off to a good start. But there's plenty of work to be done if we are going to get to the boot before the end of today's show. $sign next to the chat box if you would like to contribute there. And we'll get to the next Super Chat in a moment from Gingerbread Man and all that. But I do want to catch up on a couple more things. I need you guys to like the video. I already got 92 people in the building. When we get to 50 likes, then we can officially start today's show. And we can get to this first segment on Tyreek Hill. We can also talk about this mock draft reaction. And we can do a Q&A mailbag as well. Mike says, here is my deal. If we get 70 likes, you will go live for all rounds of the draft. Can't do supers. My phone is having a problem with that. Mike, we're going to be live for the majority of the draft. So I can't make a deal like that because we already have a schedule lined up of how we're doing things. But we will be here for the majority of the draft, all of day one, all of day two, and a decent chunk of day three. So that's what we will do here. We will have you covered here on the channel. 32 likes right now. When we get to 50, then we'll start today's show. I'll take a shot when we get there as well, but we need you guys' help. Hit that like button. When you hit the like button, let me know in the chat, and type me when you like the video, and I'll shout you guys out for when we reach 50 likes. So audience is growing, so we appreciate y'all. You're helping us out and making this all possible. Hit that like button, and let's get to 50 likes and make that happen. Josh, I cover it all. I'm going to be a very busy man next week. But this will be my priority, ladies and gentlemen. My priority at Chat Sports is always Seahawks Today above anything else. You guys are my favorite children. Of all my children here at this company, because, I wear many hats. I do this show. There's another channel I do. I also do our NFL Daily show, our College Football Now show. This is my favorite child, is Seahawks Today. And you guys will always come first in my book. So if you need any reason to like the video, just know you're my favorite. That should be reason enough to like the video right there. Who else liked the video? I see Michael liked it. Brian liked it. Myron, Brian, Josh, I do not say that to all my children. For one, I don't have actual kids. Thank goodness I don't have any children. Maybe someday, but not in the very near future by any stretch. Brian liked it. We're at 45. I need 5 more, and we'll start today's show. No. Of my chat sports children, yeah, Seahawks Today is my favorite child. You guys treat me the best and have been loyal to me. I've been here over 3 years now, and it has been an incredible ride doing this show with you each and every day here on the channel. It's been my honor and a privilege, and I'm certainly grateful for y'all. Brian liked it. Marty liked it. Let's see. Parmesan, Lon, there we go. 50 likes. So I'll take a shot. Much appreciated. Cheers. There we go. There we go for reaching 50 likes. Gingerbread Man with a $20 super chat. I don't think Gingerbread Man has missed a live show here on Seahawks Today. He has been very loyal. He's been with us since he officially changed his name to Gingerbread Man. He has been a real one. So, Gingerbread Man, I appreciate you. We will spend the wheel of punishment for you, Gingerbread Man, for sending in that $20 super chat. I want everybody in the chat right now to show some love to Gingerbread Man because I can always count on Gingerbread Man. I mean, it could be a live show. If we were live at 3 o'clock in the morning, Gingerbread Man would be here. If we were live at 8 o'clock at night, Gingerbread Man would be here. He doesn't miss a live show, and he always finds a way to super chat one way or another. So, Gingerbread Man, I say this deep down from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here with us for so many shows ever since Sam Darnold signed. And I know that you went by another name. You were with us prior to all that. But since you became Gingerbread Man, he has been locked in from the very beginning. And Gingerbread Man, we're gonna have to update that avatar here soon to a Sam Darnold Seahawks photo at some point. I believe that's still a Vikings jersey if I look closely on Sam Darnold there. But appreciate you, Gingerbread Man. Thanks for your support. Show Gingerbread Man some love. We'll spin the wheel of punishment here in just a few moments, and we'll pay that off here momentarily. But appreciate you, Gingerbread Man. I see everybody showing some love to Gingerbread Man. Myron says, yeah, you don't have to change my diapers. Exactly. That's the best type of kid, the one that you don't have to change the diapers. If one day when I have children, hopefully I'm rich enough where I could hire a chef and a nanny and a maid, and I don't have to do all those things, don't have to change diapers, don't have to cook or clean. That'd be nice. But that's not probably realistic anytime soon. But that's what I would do if I had the money to do so. Yes, we did reach 50 likes. Let's see. Josh says, get a job, Ginger. I'm just jealous. Hey. I'm sure Gingerbread Man works a great job making all the gingerbread for everybody out there. Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Gingerbread Man. Lon says, can't wait till August. I like the PS simulations. Are you talking about our Madden streams we're going to be doing in the summer months? Those will be a lot of fun. Let's see. What else we got here? Josh says, who do you actually want? 1.18 Jones. I don't know what that means. Josh. Josh, in that scenario, are you still hosting the Seahawks Today show? Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. As long as I am employed by Chat Sports, as long as they'd be happy to have me here, I am not leaving Seahawks Today. I will be here till death do us part. We are in for this ride together, folks. I have made a lot of friends, and I've made several enemies doing this show over 3 years, but I am not going anywhere. I told you a week before Geno Smith got traded, I told you all that I would be here longer than Geno and that we weren't going anywhere. Little did I know he was getting traded a week later, but we lived up to it, and here we are. So, All right. So let's spin the wheel of punishment for Gingerbread Man. We have it ready to go now. Our options include 20 jumping jacks, 10 push-ups, raise right hand, say something nice about DK, or a 5-minute shot clock on liquor. Let's see what it is for Gingerbread Man. Bang! Spin! What's it going to be? And going to be 10 push-ups. Okay. So I will do 10 push-ups. And Tex will count him out. He'll hold me accountable, make sure I'm doing them. And I can't promise I'm going to have the best form by any means, but I will give an effort nonetheless. Seattle Bicycler says, thank God you're still here and Gino isn't. I outlasted Gino. Both of us started at the same time. He took over as the full-time starter, and that was my first full season here, and I outlasted Gino. So, Gino, I win, you lose. Now you got a big bruise. Yeah, no. We're not inflicting violence or any pain on Geno Smith. Don't take that the wrong way, my friends. All right, here he is for the very first time today. The one and only Big Tex. Big Tex, good to see you. How are we doing, my friend, on this Wednesday? Been a very busy day for us. We've had meetings galore, but we still made it in time for Seahawks today. How we doing?
Doing all right, man. Yourself?
Doing well. Let's knock out these push-ups, shall we? Here we go. All right. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice.
All right. Got our push-ups in. Oh. There we go. There you go, Gingerbread Man. If you want to be like Gingerbread Man and send in a super chat, you can do so. $sign next to the chat box. Let's pay off Robert's super chat. Robert says, take a shot, get no line, go Hawks. Yeah. You don't have to tell me twice. $10 shots. This one's for Robert. This puts us at $35 on the day. Cheers to you, Robert. Let's get some O-line help, shall we? There we go. Mike has a question for Tex. He wants to know, with you going by the name Big Tex, are you a Tennessee fan? No, Texas.
Oh, yeah, we have 2 Tennessee Volunteers here. That would be Joey Peterson and Matthew Peterson.
But Tex wouldn't even be short for Tennessee.
No, it's short for Texas.
Maybe like if you were called Big Ten?
Maybe. That would make more sense, but no.
I don't know where that connection comes from.
No idea. I'm almost offended. I am the other UT, not Tennessee, but Texas.
The real
right.
UT, right?
That's right, the real UT.
Now, what's with, I got to say this.
More natties. That's all I got to say.
You are a UT alum, so I feel like you're very fitting to answer this question. Everyone around the country knows when you say the University of Texas, you're referring to the campus in Austin.
Yes.
Why is it that you UT people insist on saying, oh, I went to the University of Texas at Austin? We know!
Well, to be fair, it is that's actually a good point you make. I think it's less so about the pride and more so the fact that UT has a massive school system now. So they have UTSA, UTEP, they have UT Austin, UT Arlington, UT Dallas. So some people that go to like UT Dallas, they don't say I went to UT, they say I went to UTD. So, and then people that went to UT Arlington say I went to UTA. And so for us, it'd be confusing if we said, oh yeah, we go to UTA when that's already UT Arlington. So it's just easier and more specific and I guess more clarifying if you say UT Austin. I think it's more of a clarity thing because there's so many system schools within the branch of Texas as a public school system.
But I'm saying this with respect.
Yeah.
No one thinks of anything else other than the University of Texas than the Austin campus.
True. When you say I went to Texas, no one's like, oh, so
did you go to Arlington? Did you go to Rio Valley or whatever?
Yeah, Rio Grande Valley, UT.
Yeah.
That's another one. Yeah, that's a good point. No, people know what you're talking about. The real ones know.
Texas, I'll be honest, like I hate UT. I really do. But I do love the Eyes of Texas song.
It's a great song, man. It's a great song.
The eyes of Texas are upon you all the live long day. The eyes of Texas are upon you. You cannot run away. What's the rest?
Do not think you can escape them at night or early in the morn. The eyes of Texas are upon you till Dylan Gabriel blows his horn.
You see what I did?
I did. That was funny.
That was actually
snuck that one in.
I did. Very slick on my part.
Oh yeah.
When Oklahoma beat Texas last time with Dylan Gabriel, that was my tweet at the end of the game. I said, until Dylan Gabriel blows his horn. Okay. The eyes of Texas were upon them till Dylan Gabriel showed up.
That's right.
Yes. Thank you, Robert, for that super chat. Let's go to the super chat menu in a moment. Let's get a mailbag plug in real quick. We are, it looks like. So we should probably wait to start the segment until we get that figured out. Yeah. But that's fine. We can stall for a bit while we're dealing with some lag. We're having a little bit of internet issues, so bear with us, folks. A mailbag segment coming up later on. I need you guys to start getting your questions in now using hashtag Seahawks or super chatting to get on the mailbag segment. Super chat segments, super chat questions will get priority. We'll answer those first, and then we'll get to the others. But the quicker you guys get your questions in now, then that'll make life easier on us when we get to the mailbag segment coming up at the end of the show. That'll be our third and final segment. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat if you want your questions answered on the show. The more questions, the merrier. I want to see as many questions as possible, so go ahead and start getting in your questions now. Mike says you're an Oklahoma fan, right? Yes. I grew up an Oklahoma fan. I went to Kansas. I still root for Kansas over Oklahoma. But I'll root for OU when they're not playing Kansas. It's a little bit easier now that they're in different conferences. Now they don't play each other every year. Now that Oklahoma's in the SEC and Kansas is still in the Big 12. And what I loved about the move, like, I am a passionate college football fan. I love college football more than I do the NFL, to be honest. But I do love the NFL a lot. The SEC has the best fans in the country. They're the most diehard. They care about college football more than anybody. They're more passionate. And I always was envious of that, of the energy that was shown from SEC fans. So I felt like when Oklahoma made the transition to the SEC, it was like, all right, I got my chance to come home. I'm now with my people. I'm now where I belong with this opportunity, the way that happened there. Mailbag coming up at the end of today's show in the final segment. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get your questions in. Let's see. We got Mike with a question in there. Mike's got a couple questions. That's good to see. Mike also says the Illini played Kansas in football. Yes, they did, much to my chagrin. That was not a good day for my Kansas Jayhawks as they lost to Illinois there earlier this season. Jordan says not another Jeremy Stevens. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know what he means by that. Paper says, will Jim Zorn ever come on the show? If he wants. Jim Zorn's more than welcome to come on Seahawks Day anytime. I don't have any direct contact information for Jim Zorn. If somebody knows Jim and would like to set something up, we could have Jim Zorn on the show. That'd be fine with me. I'd love to talk ball with Jim Zorn. What's Jim Zorn doing these days? He was a pretty bad head coach with the Commies many years ago. I don't know what Jim Zorn's doing. If somebody knows Jim Zorn and would like to put me in touch, by all means, we can make something happen there. Mike asking, should the Hawks go wide receiver, offensive tackle in the draft? Maybe the answer is both. All right, maybe that's the proper answer here. Mike says, can I come on the show? Maybe. Jordan, Jeremy Stevens, tight end, high bust. Oh, yes, married Hope Solo. I remember when he was married to Hope Solo. Wasn't there some type of dispute of sorts? Let's see. Yeah. Josh, Jeremy Stevens had been erased from my memory. That's so long ago. I didn't know where you were going with that. But yeah, Jeremy Stevens and Hope Solo. What a match that was. Whatever happened to Hope Solo? She kind of choked in the World Cup a couple times. Yeah, I mean that. I think it was it her last World Cup or the one before where she had just an awful game and got the U.S. eliminated in like the semifinals. Yeah. Hope Solo crumbled under pressure. That's how I remember Hope Solo, among many things. Let's see what else we got here. Mike says, but this is still my favorite Seahawks channel on YouTube. Well, that's good. Thank you. Let's see. Paper says, would be cool if Warren Moon came on the show. Hey, I don't know how we just started talking about bringing different Seahawks people on the show, but hey, I'm all ears. Let's see. Gingerbread says, do you ever fly down to Washington, go to any games, or fly up? No, because I got to be live. We got to do watch parties for every game. We're live in the studio for every game. If I went to the stadium, then we couldn't do a live show. So that wouldn't work. I got to be live for the games. That's why I'm not in the stadium, because we got to be live here. So that would be why. That's the answer to that. I mean, like Gingerbread Man, you've been here for our watch parties, haven't you? We do them every single game. Preseason, regular season, hopefully postseason. We'll see. But yeah, we love doing our watch parties here on Seahawks Today, as we'll do throughout the season. If you're new here, and I know we have a lot of new people here, our watch parties that we'll be doing this season are going to be through the roof incredible. We have had an awesome run the last few seasons. But the way that you guys have been invested and gotten so involved over this offseason, I can already tell there's a ton of energy, ton of excitement when we get to our watch parties we're going to be bringing you later on this season. I can't wait till the season gets here, so that'll be here pretty soon. Let's see. What else we got here? Let's see. Paper says somebody has to contact them for you. Hey, if somebody wants to make the connection, we can bring on Jim Zorn or Warren Moon or whoever. Yeah, we could make that happen. Seattle says, do a live remote from Lumen Field. Well, another problem with that is rights. Like the broadcasters and the radio broadcasters, they have the exclusive rights to the stadium. We couldn't do that from there either. Want to make sure you guys are subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today, as we are quickly approaching. Just give us something to change over. Okay, cool. We are closing in on 65,500 subscribers. I want to get there before the draft. If you guys can help us do that, you can subscribe now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. I'll put the link in the chat right now to make sure you guys subscribe. And for any of you that are watching that are not subscribed, when you subscribe, you will have access to the chat where you can communicate with us while we're doing this show. And you'll get access to all of our daily videos, our live shows that we do twice a week, our draft coverage that we'll bring in next week, and any breaking news, our Q&A mailbags, like what we're going to be doing here in our final segment of today's show. And then, of course, we'll have our watch parties this season as well. So much going on. It's going to be great. I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate y'all hanging out with us here on Seattle Seahawks Today. We're working through a little lag issue right now, and once we get through that, then we can get started here on Seahawks Today. Can we get to Pablo's Super Chat? Okay. Pablo had a $20 Super Chat. We'll throw that on screen while we're still working on some stuff before we get to this segment. Pablo writes in with a $20 Super Chat. We'll spin the wheel of punishment for that in a moment. Why the Seattle Seahawks want to trade for Tyreek Hill, 31 years old? Let's go Seahawks. I saw you said T-Mac, Tyler Jones. I like Matthew Golden or Trey Harris or Kyle Williams. Of those receivers you mentioned, T-Mac is who I like the most. I think he is a sure bet in this league. Of this draft, and I am a gambling man. Sam Brown's in the studio with us. He's a gambling man too. As a gambling man, if you said, Tyler, you can pick out two players who you would sell your soul to the devil and guarantee that they are going to be successful in the National Football League, who would they be? And my two answers for you would be Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State, and T-Mac from Arizona. Those would be my two answers. I think at the very least with T-Mac, his floor is he's going to be a very good receiver. His ceiling, he is going to be a star receiver. He reminds me of Mike Evans and T. Higgins. I am going to be super excited if he falls to 18, if he's the Seahawks pick. Now, as far as Tyreek Hill goes, yeah, he's 31 years old, but he's still one of the best receivers in the NFL. He is still freaky fast, and he still is a threat when it comes to special teams coverage as well. And on top of that, two things, actually. The cost would not be that much. His base salary is only about $10 million, okay? So that's good. He has no guaranteed money beyond this season, so that helps as well. And then on top of that, my friends, you wouldn't have to give up much. The idea that's been proposed by FanSided that we're going to talk about here in just a moment, you only have to give up a third-round pick. In all likelihood, you're not going to find a receiver better than Tyreek Hill in the third round. So I like the idea. I like the idea of trading for Tyreek Hill, but I also like T-Mac as well. The others, of your list there. But, yeah, T-Mac, Tyreek Hill, that sounds fun to me. Let's spin the wheel of punishment. What's it going to be for Pablo? Big money, big money. And it's close. It's close. 10 push-ups. Okay. So this will put me at 20 for the day. Got to have good form, butt down, all that, you know. So I will take care of my push-ups. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. Because we're working on stuff on the technical side. I'm going to keep my headset on and count these out so you can hear me, and you'll hear my breath breathing of me trying to do these push-ups in real time. So here we go, folks. 10 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. There we go, folks. Got him in. Got him in. Beta YT's in the house. Beta, my guy, where you been? Where you been? Appreciate you being here, Beta. Beta says he can only do 100 push-ups in one sitting. That sounds like a lot to me, Beta. You ought to be proud of yourself. You ought to be proud of yourself. That puts us at $55 in Super Chats. When we reach 300, we could get to a boot today. So we are making some progress. We haven't even gotten to our first segment yet. So we'll see if we get there before the end of the day. How are we looking? Okay. Okay. Here is a warning, folks, because we're going through some technical stuff right now. We're going to have about 10 seconds of difficulty, is what I'm being told. Maybe less. So bear with us. Bear with us. We're working through this. We'll continue, and we'll get to our first segment momentarily. So stand by. Stand by, folks. Bear with us. We'll get through this all together and go through this, and then we'll get to our first segment here in just a few moments. That is what's ahead here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Folks, still working through something, so stand by as we try to get through this issue. Beta says he's been super busy. Hey, I understand, Beta. We all have stuff going on. Oh, wow, a big one from Pablo. Beta had to do his taxes today, too. Beta, tax day was yesterday. I hope you don't get fined by the government because the tax day was yesterday. Getting in a day late. Hopefully you filed the extension because tax day was yesterday. There we go. Already over $100 with Pablo with a big one. Everybody spam Pablo. Pablo with a $50 super chat. Bang! Pablo. Spam Pablo in the chat with the big $50 super chat coming in strong. Pablo writes in, Tyler Jones. Hi. I saw Xavier Watts highlights. Xavier Watts compared to Kyle Hamilton, Julian Love, and Kobe Bryant. Tyler Jones, who do you want back with Julian Love and Kobe Bryant? Nick or Xavier or Malachi? I'm super excited. So I don't think Nick's going to be available when Seattle picks at 18. I think he gets picked a couple picks before that. I like Malachi Starks, but I would prefer probably a receiver or an offensive lineman over Malachi Starks at 18. Xavier Watts. Hear me out on this, folks. Xavier Watts, star safety from Notre Dame. One of the most productive safeties in college football the last 2 seasons. Here's what I don't understand when it comes to Xavier Watts. The numbers are there. He's an athletic freak. Why is he not being mentioned as a first-round guy? I'm very fascinated with Xavier Watts. And you bring in Xavier Watts, then you have some flexibility at the safety position with Kobe Bryant and Julian Love there. I would be all in on the idea of Xavier Watts, personally speaking. I think he'd be a great second-round pick for Seattle, and it would be a lot of fun to have him on board. Everybody keeps spamming Pablo. We're at over $100 in Super Chats on the day. That means we are over a third of a way to a boot today. Got to get to 300. I owe a beer bong for that, so we'll pay it off accordingly. Everybody spam Pablo. Cheers to Pablo. Go Hawks. That's from Monday's show. Pablo, cheers to you. Go Hawks. Woo! There we go. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, Pablo. Thanks for sending in that big $50 super chat. Vote for Pablo, says Jordan. I agree. I'm voting for Pablo. Pablo's got my vote every time. Thank you for that, Pablo, for that $50 super chat. That puts us at $105. If we get to 300, we will do a boot. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about a trade for Tyreek Hill. We also have a mock draft reaction to get to from Mel Kiper and from Field Yates. Naturally, I want to say Todd McShay, but Todd left ESPN a couple of years ago. He unfortunately got laid off. And then we got a mailbag. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. Start sending in your questions now, and that'll make life easier on us for that mailbag segment we'll be bringing you coming up later on. Am I crazy or does it look better? Okay. Yeah, we're dealing with a little bit of lag, folks. Bear with us. Trying to work through this, and then we can get this thing started. So while we're waiting, folks, we're still here, obviously. We haven't shut things down. You can Super Chat us. I will answer Super Chats while we're working through our technical problems before we start today's show. Whatever you guys got, we can still do that. We can still kill time with this. So by all means, first time Super Chatter gets the Seahawks chant. $5, give you a beer cheers. $10, take some shots. $20, spin the wheel of punishment. $50, we'll do a beer bong. Already got $100. If we get to 300, we will do a boot. So while we work through this, by all means, send us a Super Chat and we can keep this going and answer whatever questions you guys got. Can be Seahawks related, could be something else. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we can react to it here on Seahawks Today. Appreciate y'all being here. Happy Wednesday. We are just over 1 week away from the 2025 NFL Draft. We will be live for the draft on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday right here on the channel. And cannot wait. Going to be a lot of fun as we bring you our live coverage. Who all is going to join us for the draft? Who is going to be here on Thursday night for round one? If you're going to be here for round one, I need you to type me in the chat right now. I'm shouting at everybody. I want full attendance. Everybody that's watching the show right now, I need you to cancel your plans, dinner with your significant other, or hanging out with your kids that can wait for another day. You need to make this appointment viewing to make sure you're with us next Thursday night for round one of the NFL Draft. Who's all going to be here on Thursday night? Greg is going to be here. Matthew's going to be here. Michael's going to be here. Pablo's going to be here. Who all is going to be here for the first round of the draft? No Regret Native is going to hang out with us. I cannot wait for that. We're going to have some prizes, some giveaways, and we're going to react not just to the Seahawks picks. We're going to react to everything that's going on in that first round on Thursday night. Brian's going to be here. Gingerbread Man says he's going to be at the VMAC party. Gingerbread Man, you can pull me up on your phone. Get your headphones out. Get your headphones out. Make sure you at least check in with us. I need you to at least check in at some point in the evening, Thursday night. Myron says he's going to be here. He's hosting us in his man cave. Hopefully there's a big party where everybody's involved in the man cave. Who else? Who else is going to be here on Thursday night for their draft? Oh, another big super chat. Another big super chat. We haven't gotten to our first segment yet. We're already at $154 today. You know, people always ask, like, you know, what's your best practices? And like, well, maybe technical difficulties because we're just making money, you know, the way things have worked out. John Smith with a $50 super chat. Bang! Everybody spam John. John. That's a beer bong. John Smith says, totally voting for Pablo. Mock draft ratings have players rated all over the place. Mimbo and Campbell are a pipe dream. But could Banks fall to us at 18? Brock Heward loves this guy. I love Kelvin Banks too. I would be thrilled. I would be excited beyond belief if Kelvin Banks is a member of the Seattle Seahawks by the end of the night on Thursday. I'm all in. I'm all in on the possibility. John, you're absolutely – it'd be great. It'd be great. Yes. Oh. Okay. Okay. Interesting. That's very strange. Well, glad we figured it out, though. Pablo, appreciate your 50 earlier. John Smith, appreciate your 50. Everybody spam John Smith. Cheers. Go Hawks. Woo! Now we're within striking distance of the boot. $175. We are $125 away from a boot. Did somebody say boot? Somebody say boot. We're getting close. We're getting close. No regret native. Here's the super chat menu, by the way. First time super chats get the Seahawks chant. $5 do a beer cheers. $10 shots. $20 will a punishment. $50 will do a beer bong. No regret native with a $20 super chat. We'll spin the wheel of punishment for this. No regret native, my guy. Thanks to you. Thanks for sending us that $20 super chat. Much love. Salute to you. No regret native follows that up and says, go Hawks. I love it. No regret native coming in strong. Had a great showing on Monday, and he's back and running it back with us here on a Seahawks Day. Appreciate you being here. There was a little cameo appearance by text there. There we go. No regret native. Thank you for that $20 super chat. Show no regret native some love. Much appreciated. Thanks for sending that $20 super chat. So, I believe we have our stuff fixed. So, we will spin the wheel of punishment, and then we will get to our segment. So, our first segment, by the way, is going to be on Tyreek Hill. I know we've been building this up, but we've been working through these, so bear with us, folks. Here we go. The wheel of punishment. Spin. Da-da-da-da. What's it going to be? 20 jumping jacks. So I'll do 20 jumping jacks, and then we will get to the segment as promised. I know we've been teasing it for 50 minutes, but we'll get to it here in just a moment. Here we go. 20 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go. There we go, folks. All right. As promised, we will do our first segment, talking about Tyreek Hill. 3 segments ago and $125 away from a boot. Can we make it happen before the end of today's show? If you're ready to start the show, like the video. Tickle that like button. Give it a little tickle. Give it a little tickle. John's already called his shot. He's saying the boot's coming. The boot is coming, he says. 125. 125 away, within striking distance. We get 3 segments to go. So that's the assignment for the 12s. 125 away from reaching that mark. We'll see if you guys can make that happen. Up next, news and rumors. We will talk about a potential trade for Tyreek Hill. And then we'll get to our mock draft reaction, the latest from Field Yates and Mel Kiper Jr. And then we will get to a mailbag to follow after that. John says, let's make Tyler do his segments post-boot. They were funnier that way. Ooh. That's dangerous territory because then I got to be extra clean with that boot. I'm up for a challenge. But it's a slippery slope potentially, John, if we go that route. So we'll see. Are we ready? We are finally ready, folks. It is time. As Bruce Buffer would say, it's time! Let's talk Tyreek Hill, and then we'll get going here with today's show. All right, without further ado, this live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today starts right now. Seahawks fans, I need your help. We are closing in on 65,500 subscribers here on Seahawks Today. Less than 60 away from reaching that next milestone. If you want daily Seahawks news and rumors, coverage of the NFL Draft as we'll be live on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, as well as our breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. We are your Seahawks offseason headquarters. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Never miss a moment. Subscribe now for free, and we'll get started with today's show. Could Tyreek Hill be on his way to Seattle? Welcome in to this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. Appreciate you joining us. FanSided has named Seattle as a top trade destination for Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. And before we get into this, let me just say, I know some of you right away are going to be after me in the comments section and say, why are you wasting your time talking about a trade rumor for Tyreek Hill? Well, as we've always said, we don't hide it here on Seahawks Today. We are a news and rumors channel. And it is my job, it is my duty, my obligation to report on every news and rumors item that comes across the page. And if FanSided's talking about Tyreek Hill in Seattle, then we're going to discuss it here on Seahawks Today. And if you don't like it, that's a you problem. Deal with it. Here's more from FanSided. Well, the new look wide receiving core isn't as bad as we all thought it would be. It still needs more talent on it. Seattle made some major changes this offseason by replacing Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett with Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Smith and Metcalf were looking for long-term contracts, and Seattle was willing to take a step down in talent for guys on shorter deals. Darnold and Kupp only got guaranteed money in 2025. A trade for Tyreek Hill could fall in line with that idea since Hill only has guarantees this year. But the talent would be higher than what they have now. Multiple of day 3 picks probably won't get the trade done, so they might have to offer pick 92. But with 5 picks on day 2, it's a move they can stomach. So when I first heard about this idea of Tyreek Hill in Seattle, my first reaction was, what? Tyreek Hill? Seattle? Huh? But then the more I read into it and think about this possibility, it actually isn't as crazy as it sounds. This isn't completely out of left field. Tyreek Hill's been talking for months about potentially leaving the Miami Dolphins and seeking a trade. And if you look at teams that are playoff caliber teams that need a receiver, I guess Seattle would make sense. He's looking to play for a contending team. Tyreek Hill, you go back just a few weeks ago, and he was not shy about the trade rumors that were out there, throwing up his infamous peace sign and all that. And he's done this thing before of openly talking about leaving Miami and saying adios to South Beach. I don't think he's happy in Miami. And that doesn't take a genius to figure that out. Based on what he has said recently and even a few months ago, you go back to January 5th, and he said, open the door. I'm out. Meaning that he wanted out of Miami, and he backtracked on that a little bit. But I think that he is still making his grievances known, that he would like to weigh his options elsewhere. So the idea that FanSided proposed in that article there was just giving up a third-round pick at 92. Here's something to think about, too. When you're looking at receivers at 92, it's probably highly unlikely you will find a receiver as good as Tyreek Hill is right now. Don't tempt me with a good time. This is very intriguing. I would have never thought, even a few weeks ago, this was a remote possibility. But as we crunch the numbers, we'll show you the numbers here in just a bit, and you show me that that's all it would take in a trade, with Seattle having plenty of draft capital on hand and cap space, you have my full attention. So, should the Seahawks trade for Tyreek Hill? It's our pinned comment today. What do you think? Type T for trade, P for pass. I like the idea. I'll explain why I love the idea in a moment, but we want to hear from you guys first. Weigh in and let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Now, I know what you're thinking. I wish we had the Sonics to root on in the playoffs. We do not. But whether it's NBA playoff games around the country, or maybe you just want to see an event right here in Seattle, like your Seattle Mariners, for example. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and boom, just like that, you're checking out on Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Seattle Seahawks today, where they offer last-minute deals where you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. Game Time makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. They have their zone deals where you can save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. They have their all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. They have their seat views where you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price is guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. All right, let's get to know Tyreek Hill a little bit more. He is well on his way to Canton, Ohio, my friends. An 8-time Pro Bowler, a 5-time first-team All-Pro. He was the co-leader in receiving touchdowns and also led the league in receiving yards in 2023. He is a Super Bowl champion. He was named to the NFL's 2010s All-Decade team. The resume for the Pro Football Hall of Fame is there. But what does he have still left in the tank? Well, I got good news for y'all. He is still great. All right? Is he as good as what he was a couple of years ago? No. But he's still one of the top receivers in football. You look at the stats. Last year, numbers down a bit. 2023 had nearly 1,800 yards. Last year, fell short of 1,000. But still had 81 catches. Averaged 11.8 yards a reception, 6 touchdowns. It was a monumental year for Tyreek Hill last year, even with him taking a step back. His worst season that he's had in a while, maybe ever, was still a season that a lot of guys wish they could have. Now, what he would bring to Seattle, he can still open up the offense. He can create openings that, with the receivers you have currently, are not there. He would bring in something that the Seahawks do not have right now with his vertical threat ability, with the raw speed. Nobody on that roster is even close to being as fast as Tyreek Hill. Now, when it comes to Tyreek Hill, there begs the question about his off-the-field antics and some of the stuff that goes back to his days at Oklahoma State and the problems that he caused in Kansas City and then what he's done in Miami. It's been questionable. I think that's very fair to say. But I'll give Tyreek Hill credit on this. I'm not defending any of his actions. Let me make that clear. But what Tyreek Hill has done a very good job of is compartmentalizing everything that's gone on. I'm not going to get into how many baby mamas and children he has, or the arrests, or some of those things that have gone on. That's none of my business. But has it ever gotten in the way of his performance? Has he ever let any of that stuff affect him? No, quite frankly. In fact, I would say he's done a very good job of not letting that affect his performance on the football field. Whether you like it or not, and I totally understand if you have issues with what has gone on off the field, you can't deny that Tyreek Hill knows how to deal with it. That when it comes to focusing on football, Tyreek Hill has been there and shown that he can still put football first. That is still his number one priority. And to me, I think he deserves credit for that, in all honesty. Who's a player the Seahawks should trade for? Whether it's Tyreek Hill or whether it's somebody else, give me a name in the comments section that you would like to see end up in Seattle, that you'd like to see John make a move for, weigh in, and let us know. So how about the money? Show me the money! What would it take for a Tyreek Hill trade to happen? Well, here's what you need to know. The Dolphins will pay a $1 million roster bonus. And if they were to trade him, the new team, like Seattle, would then take on a $15.85 million roster bonus. Hill only is owed $10 million in base salary next season. And then there's a $1.8 million potential per game roster bonus for 2025. And then here's the other thing. Let's just say it doesn't work out. What if we have seen the best of Tyreek Hill and he's not the same player anymore? Well, it's not going to cost you anything beyond this year. There's no guaranteed money he's owed after 2025. In Seattle, they're not short of money by any stretch. Their cap space, according to Spotrac right now, is at $36.89 million. You take 10 of that for your draft picks. There's 26, 27. You can pay Tyreek Hill. As crazy as it sounded at the beginning of this show, it doesn't sound so crazy now. This can be done. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, in all honesty. But if it does, we're going to have a party and we're going to be jumping up for joy. And this could change everything for the Seahawks. For continuing Seahawks offseason coverage, subscribe now to Seattle Seahawks Today for free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. I'm Tyler Jones, your fearless leader. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. We made it. We made it, folks. And we got some big super chats to catch up on. You guys, unbelievable. Unbelievable, the super chats that we got to pay off here in just a few moments. And there is a boot coming, I can tell you that. What do you think about trading for Tyreek Hill? T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in and let us know. It is going to be something else that we're about to pay off here in just a few moments. Do you need to go somewhere? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Here is the Super Chat menu. First-time Super Chatters get the Seahawks. We'll get to the Super Chat menu in a moment. There's a big text right there. Say hi, text. Yeah. There we go. Say hi, text. There he is. He's working. He's working, folks. We got a lot going on. First-time Super Chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5 do a beer cheers. $10 take some shots. $20 spin the wheel of punishment. $50 we will do a beer bong in all its glory. Game Zone saying Tyreek Hill is crazy. Yeah, he is, but he's a champion. You can be crazy when you're a champion. You can do whatever you want if you're a winner. That's what Ricky Bobby once said, right? I mean, yeah. What did Ricky Bobby's kids, what did he say about his kids with their grandfather? What's they're winners. They can say whatever they want. The best thing you did was create a smoking hot daughter. That's the line. Yeah. Yeah, Tyreek Hill can do whatever he wants. He's a winner. Game Zone says that didn't work out for DK. Well, DK wasn't a winner. Tyreek Hill's a champion. He's a Hall of Famer. DK Metcalf is not a Hall of Famer. All right. His kids, Walker and Texas Ranger. That's right. So we will pay off the Super Chats, including the boot, in just a few moments. And, John, since you asked for it, this is a risk. This is a big risk. But I will do the boot before these next two segments. I hope and pray that there's no spillage. Because I would hate to have a wet shirt. Nobody wants wet T-shirt Jones on screen. I'm not trying to give you that type of show here. All right? But because I'm a man of the people, that's fine. That's fine. Here we go. Let's start. I think there was another one before that, actually. I think let's start with Gingerbread Man, Pablo, then John Smith. All right. Here we go, folks. Gingerbread Man with a $50 Super Chat. Bang! Gingerbread Man! Gingerbread Man! Gingerbread Man! Spam Gingerbread Man! Spam Gingerbread Man! That's a beer bong for Gingerbread Man. Gingerbread Man going strong. Oh, man. Cheers to you, Gingerbread Man. Spam it in the chat. I knew I could count on you. Gingerbread Man. Go Hawks. Spam him in the chat. Woo! Let's go, Gingerbread Man. Spam him in the chat. John Smith says, can't catch him. He's the Gingerbread Man. But that's not all, folks. Just wait. Here we go. Pablo Domingo does it again with a $100 Super Chat. Bang! Pablo! Spam Pablo! Wow! Pablo says, John Schneider and Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak need to stay focused on the offensive line. Tyler Jones, what's your plan for Abraham Lucas, backup offensive tackle? Who will fall to the Seattle Seahawks at 18? Josh Simmons or Josh Connerly? Well, if you want Simmons or Connerly, either one will likely be available at 18. I think I prefer Connerly. I'm a little concerned about Simmons with the injuries, if I'm going to be frank with you. The injuries a bit concern me. But, yes, you do need to take care of that offensive line. First or second round, a little bit tempting. You have T-Mac is there. And don't forget, my friends, Abraham Lucas potentially could slide to guard. You just got to get the best five out there. All right? If we get Simmons and get Lucas, or get Conley and get Simmons, or Lucas. Sorry. They're both going to play. They're both going to be in the starting 5. I don't know what it looks like, but they're both going to play one way or the other. So I owe 2 beer bongs. Here's another. And then we'll keep on going. Pablo, cheers to you. Go Hawks. Woo! Woo! Here's another. Here's another beer bong. Let's go, Pablo. Spam Pablo. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is great. This is great. And then John Smith with a $50 super chat. Bang! John Smith, the godfather of Seahawks today. Rise up. Rise up. Everybody spam John. John, 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 John. As our Canadian friends would say, it's boot time. Any chance Hill's lower production might have been the result of some QB injuries and issues in Miami last year? Absolutely. Absolutely, John Smith. Tua was banged up. They had awful quarterback play. Yes, I think that was a big reason why, John. You're definitely onto something. John knows ball. John knows ball. Wide receiver room is good, but I don't see a proven deep threat, and Hill would add that. Bingo! Bingo. John knows ball. John knows what he's talking about. MVS, too inconsistent. Can't trust him. Cooper threat, possession guy. JSN possession guy. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill would be awesome. Would be awesome. That's another beer bong, and the boot is coming. The boot is coming, my friends. Yeah. Give me a second. Let's pay this off for John. Everybody spam John in the chat. The boot is coming. Cheers to John. Go Hawks. Woo! All right. So, here's what we're going to do. Because John asked us to take a very bold risk and do the boot prior to our segments. We're going to go ahead and knock it out here in a few moments. Hopefully there's no spillage, because I don't want to look like a mess trying to do these segments. It is a big risk, but it's one worth taking because of y'all. So we'll do the boot here in a few moments. Here's the Super Chat menu. Tex is going to take over for you a few moments. And here's what I will offer while I go get the boot ready, my friends. Every $10 Super Chat is not only a shot, it's a shot in the boot as well. That sound like a deal? I think that sounds like a deal. So I'll be right back. Big Tex is going to take over for a bit. I'll get the boot ready, and then we will continue with our other 2 segments. Still more to come. Folks, we've been here an hour. We dealt with some technical difficulties, but you guys have still made this a hell of a show. Thanks for bearing with us. Even through our technical problems, you guys said, hey, we can still party. We can still work through it. So, oh, my gosh. Let me answer these 2 Super Chats, and then I'll get the boot ready. I can't wait on these. We'll pay off here in just a bit. So, folks, here's what's ahead. Mock draft reaction, Q&A rumors, mailbag. We also have a boot on deck as well. Here we go. 2 more Super Chats, and then I'll go get the boot ready, and Tex will take over for a bit. 3 more. Every $10 Super Chat is a shot in the boot when we pay the audit here in just a bit. John Smith, we went to him earlier, and now we got one from Ralph. Have a shot, Mr. Jones. Okay. Ralph, I'll take a shot for that. Forgot I was 10. That's all good. Fullback draft choice. I like Cam Scattaboo potentially to play fullback. And also use him at running back, too. Kind of similar to what Kansas City does with Carson Steele. I think that'd be a good idea. Ralph, cheers to you. Yeah. That's a big burp right there. Shout out LA Barefoot for that. And then we got another one. No Regret Native with a $50 Super Chat. Bang! Spam Native. Spam Native, my native brother, coming in strong. Us representing the Native Americans. Very strong around here. Spam Native with the $50 super chat. Let's go. Let's go. What a show. What a show, my friends. That's a beer bong. That's a beer bong. And I'm about to do another boot here, or another boot. About to do a boot here in a moment. But I didn't think we'd be having this conversation today, folks. But we're 175 away from a second boot as well. 2 boots? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Spam Native. Spam Native. Let's go. All right. Woo. All right. So, Texas is going to take – here's the game plan. Here's the game plan of action. Texas is going to take over for a few moments. I am going to go get said boot ready. All right? While I'm gone, every $10 super chat is a shot in the boot. And then we'll get to our final 2 segments, mock draft reaction, Q&A rumors, mailbag. All right? Bear with us. Stay tuned as we continue here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Appreciate y'all being here. A lot of fun that we're having. It's a hell of a time. And yeah, we showed Ralph earlier. Yeah. We got him covered. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Ralph. Salute to you. All right. So, give me a few moments, folks. Let me go get the boot ready. Tex is going to answer any questions you got for him. Every $10 super chat while I'm gone is going to be a shot in the boot as we continue here on Seahawks Today. Is that the box you're going to go with? Is that the box you're going with while I'm gone? Okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Let's see. What do we got in the chat right now? Jordan says, show Tyler the money. Jerry Maguire voice. Show me the money! Let's see what else we got here. King says, Native with that casino money. I don't have the casino money, but maybe Native does. I do love me some casinos. You know, I feel like as a Native American, I have to love the casinos. Yeah, you're good. I'll say this. I have given the casinos more money than they've given me from the tribes over the years. I know that for sure. But I would say it's money well spent. Support your local tribal casino. They're good people. They're good people. I'm sure. I know my tribe is the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. They're good people. They mean well. They mean well. Oh, nice. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to step away in a moment. Boot is coming up. Mock draft reaction, Q&A mailbag. Lot ahead here on Seahawks Today. Stay with us. I will be right back. Big Tex will answer your questions. Every $10 super chat while I'm gone is a shot in the boot.
What's up, 12s? How's it going? Appreciate the patience. Thought it was initially a Wi-Fi issue. We were actually having some internal computer issues, but appreciate your patience regardless, 12s. Here's our super chat menu. First time super chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5 is a beer cheers. $10 is shots. And because he's going to get the boot ready right now, Tyler back over there, he just passed me. It's actually in the boot, the shots that you would super chat. And then $20 is wheel of punishment, which little side note, we're having the technical issues, so that's kind of causing that a little bit, the wheel of punishment. So bear with me on that. If we do get a $20 super chat, I will plug back in the monitor and we will do that. But for the time being, I'm keeping that off right now because it's just a lot for the computer to handle, if that makes sense from a CPU standpoint, to get nerdy. And then $50 is a beer bong, which obviously we've done quite a bit of those today. I see Gingerbread Man, so bear with me. I'm gonna try to get your super chat up real quick. I'm gonna see if I can do it without plugging in the monitor though, because it does freak out the software when I plug it back in. So bear with me for a moment, but I appreciate you for sticking with us here. I'm gonna try to pop it up right now without doing that, so bear with me for just a moment. But I appreciate you. What's up, Alper?
How we doing?
Producer and host Alper here popped in the studio. I'm doing all right, just waiting for Tyler to get the boot ready. There's Tyler.
Oh, wow.
Or there's Alper right there.
The chroma is making my hoodie purple.
A little bit. I thought it looked cooler than just a green wall, you know?
Yeah.
Good to see you, bro.
How do you get that up?
You pop it up under the editor, So you go into the actual, like, big cam, and you just, like, toggle it. You just have to click twice, and it goes and allows you. Yeah.
Gotcha.
There you go, bro.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Teaching one of my coworkers how to get the chroma behind me so it's not just a boring green screen, so we got a better production value for you guys. But appreciate you guys for sticking with us. I see Gingerbread Man with a $10 super chat. And I disappeared. Apologies. There I am. A little laggy on live stream, but bear with me. Gingerbread Man, appreciate you. $10. Got the Sam Darnold GIF, picture, what do you want to call it, avatar. He knows. He knows what's up. He says, could you see them drafting a safety, then move Kobe back to cornerback? No, I don't think so.
Kobe, but yes, I'm drafting a safety.
I do think they'll draft a safety, but I don't think that they would move Kobe to cornerback. I think where he's at right now makes a lot more sense for their defense under Mike McDonald. I think, and he was really good at that position. What'd you say? He had a breakout year at the position he currently plays at, so I don't think moving him to cornerback is going to be necessarily a good idea, especially considering, like I said, he had a breakout season, so why change it if it's not broke? If it's not broke, don't fix it. And then safety, obviously that's a concern for the Seahawks, and I think it'd be great if they draft one maybe the second or third round. But I appreciate you, Gingerbread Man. You're a legend. Tyler will rejoin us right now.
Oh.
My bad.
I'm there.
You're there.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Your fearless leader back here. And I got to put a shot in the boot, courtesy of Gingerbread Man. Thank you, Gingerbread Man. Just one shot? Is that all I owe? Okay, Gingerbread Man. Gingerbread Man. And here's what's going to be interesting as I put the shot in the boot. There we go. So here's the challenge ahead. So John Smith, he said, Tyler, I want you to do the boot on air prior to your remaining segments because the next segments will be fun. Well, yeah, we might need those paper towels, potentially speaking. Here's the risk we run, folks. It's got to be clean because I can't have a wet shirt. Nobody wants wet T-shirt Jones. Well, maybe there might be a few that want that. Maybe Alexis wants wet T-shirt Jones. But I got to stay dry. So I'll be honest. I might go a little slower on this one because I cannot afford spillage on this boot. So let's put the over-under. I'll go 16 seconds. Been a bit since I've done the boot, but I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Type O for over, U for under, 16 seconds. This is going to be dangerous. But with great power comes great responsibility, as a wise man once said. So, here we go. Tex is going to get the timer out. And we're going to see how I do. O for over, U for under, 16 seconds. How will I do? And I got to be cautious of spillage here. So that's going to be something to keep in mind. Josh says over for sure. Some people are saying I should go bib. You know what? That's not a bad idea. I'm going to look ridiculous, but I got to be responsible. Yeah, another one. Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. We're going to be extra careful. All right. I look ridiculous. I look like a Frenchman. Yeah, a Spaniard. Yeah, with paper towels right here. All right. Here we go. Now I have some leverage. Now I'm free.
That's right.
I'm free falling. Shout out John Mayer. Great song by John Mayer. Free falling.
True.
All right.
Got the timer.
Spam chug in the chat. Here we go. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Off to the races. Good pace so far. I don't see a single drop of spillage, which is a good sign, especially given we have the extra protection in place with the double bib. Oh, wow. I didn't even see a single drop. Maybe one smidge. Woo! I stopped it late. That was on me. I would give you a 15 flat. I was a little slow with it. I was a little slow, so I'll say 15 flat.
15 flat.
I was slow.
Didn't even need it. Didn't even need it. Urgh!
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here, paper towels. Get out. Didn't need you. Didn't want you. Ah! 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 There we go. Didn't even need it. Matthew says free falling is Tom Petty. Yes, it is, but John Mayer did it better. John Mayer did free falling better than Tom Petty. I think he gets to claim it. Oh, yes. Yes. No, that's John Mayer's song now. He did better. He did it live at the Nokia Theater back in the day. Oh, man. I am him. Spam Jones. Oh, your fearless leader strikes again. Spam Jones. Spam fearless leader. I am him. Bill Pollock. Welcome back. Been a while since I've seen Bill Pollock. You look like the mayor of Fansville. If you know, you know. That's referencing a certain video that's been circulating the internet today. I will not promote said video. But I'm at the point in the day where I can have a laugh at it, even though it's very annoying. Let's see. Bill Pollock says, I'm the biggest John fan you know. He did not do it better. Yes. No. John Mayer did free falling better than Tom Petty. He absolutely did. Let's go to the Super Chat menu before we get to our next segment. So, John, are you proud of me? My godfather, John Smith, you put a challenge to me. You wanted me to do a boot prior to my segments because you said it'd be funnier and also I'd risk spillage. And there was no spillage. I didn't need the paper towels. And now I'm going to do these next two segments. John, are you proud of me? I need to know. So remember to take off in the boot before you put that on screen. Oh, so, folks, here's where we are at right now, my friends. We're at $446 in Super Chats. We are just over $150 away from another boot, potentially. A wild show at a random Wednesday, my friends, a week ahead of the draft. Could we do a second boot, potentially? Just over $150 away. First-time Super Chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5 will do a beer cheers. $10 will take some shots. $20 will spin the wheel of punishment. $50 we're doing beer bongs. Dollar sign next to the chat box in all its glory. Myron saying fearless leader. Juan saying fearless leader. Bodkin says Tyler is on drugs to think Mayer is better. I think Mayer's version of free falling is better than Tom Petty's. Sue me. I don't care. Oh, man. Yes, we got the boot early, but we can still do another. 2 more segments to go. Up next, Mel Kiper Jr. You think I'm crazy? Mel Kiper Jr. is a little bit crazy. This man, he eats pumpkin pie for breakfast every day, and he watches reruns of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson every night at 11:30. And he doesn't own a cell phone. Mel Kiper Jr., along with Field Yates, was kind of a pretty boy. They did a new mock draft, a 3-round mock draft. Shots courtesy of Matthew. I'll pay this off real quick. They did a new 3-round mock draft. We're going to go over all the Seahawks picks. We're going to show you the analysis on the picks for Seattle, and I'll give you my thoughts coming up in just a bit. Also, mailbag time in the second segment. Use hashtag Seahawks for Super Chat. Bill Pollock, send me a question for the mailbag. Let's get Bill on the mailbag this week. I can't remember the last time Bill was on a mailbag. Let's get Bill on the mailbag. Matthew, cheers to you. Go Hawks. Oh, that was almost some spillage. Close, my friend. Just on the face. Got to stay pretty, you know. All right. Here we go, folks. Mel Kiper Jr. and Field Yates. Their new 3-round mock draft. Let's react to it, and then we'll get to our mailbag. More to come as we continue here on this live edition of Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones, Big Tex here. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Let's get started. Segment numero dos starts right now. Here we go. You're watching Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. On today's show, Mel Kiper Jr., along with Field Yates, they have a brand new 3-round mock draft for every team in the National Football League, including the Seattle Seahawks. What we're going to do is we're going to show you Mel and Field's picks for the Seahawks and their analysis. And then I'll give my thoughts to the selections they made for Seattle. We'll bring that to you coming up in a matter of moments. Before we do, the 49ers report, hosted by our friend, but he is a fraud, and Bill Pollack knows what I'm about to say here. I would betray him if I needed to. They said we couldn't get 1,000 comments on today's video. I want to prove Chase Sr. wrong and make it happen. So the 49ers report, they just got 1,000 comments the other day. Let's stick it to them. Spam S in the comments section. I want to see as many S's as we can. And if we get 1,000 comments with the S's in there, I'll give a shout-out on a later edition of Seahawks Today. Make it happen. Spam S, and we'll continue here on Seahawks Today. So Mel Kiper Jr. and Field Yates did this mock draft, and I don't know how it happened, to be honest, but Mel ended up actually making all the picks for Seattle and not Field Yates. So all you're going to hear from is Mel, not Field. Field did a mock draft for Seattle a couple of weeks ago. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get started right away with the 18th overall pick of the 2025 NFL Draft. The Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel, North Dakota State offensive lineman. Let's see what the great Mel Kiper Jr. and the pumpkin pie eating for breakfast man had to say about the pick. It may seem early for an FCS interior offensive lineman, but Zabel proved at the Senior Bowl that he absolutely belongs in this conversation. The Seahawks' issues with inside protection are clear, and Zabel has the footwork, technique, and power to instantly improve things there. And his versatility means Seattle could move him wherever he's needed. Now, are there more exciting picks out there than Grey Zabel? I mean, unless you're a diehard that's been following the draft like your fearless leader, you probably honestly don't know who Grey Zabel is, and that's okay. Sure, there are probably more exciting picks out there. But with Grey Zabel, I don't know. Is he a guard? Is he a tackle? Hell, is he a center, for crying out loud? I don't know, to be honest with you. But I'll find a place for him one way or the other. He is going to be in that starting five of the offensive line in some spot. We will find a place for him, and that's what makes this a good pick, is the versatility. More on Grey Zabel. Played for North Dakota State. Fargo. There's a girl I went out with that used to live in Fargo. He was there from 2020 to 2014. Two-time FCS national champion in 2021 and in 2024. He was a first-team FCS All-American and a first-team Missouri Valley Football Conference selection in 2024. His grades were off the charts. They were fantastic. Granted, the competition he faced wasn't great, but still, a 90.4 overall grade. I don't care if you're playing the NAIA. That's impressive. Pass block rate of 93.1. Run block rate of 86.5. Only allowed one sack. Got called for 7 penalties. His stats, taken it a step further from the nerds at Pro Football Focus, only gave up 2 hits, 4 hurries, and 7 penalties. The scouting report as follows on Grey Zabel. Impressive mobility and pad level. He moves laterally to get rushers. He is firm and has a stiff punch. Different term when it comes to firm, if you know what I mean. He works hips through contact, and he has below average arm length. And that's why some people think that he could potentially play a different position outside of the tackle spot. So, what do you think about Grey Zabel? Should the Seahawks draft him? Type D for draft, P for pass. It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. take advantage of it, as Tom Downey would say. And let us know which way you lean towards. D for draft, B for pass when it comes to Grey Zabel there. Next up, let's go to Arizona offensive lineman Bech Jonah at 50 to the Seattle Seahawks. And you may be wondering, what does he bring to the table? Well, let's tell you more about what Mel Kiper Jr. had to say about this selection for the Seattle Seahawks here with this pick. I know we gave Seattle an offensive lineman in round 1, Grey Zabel, but GM John Schneider will likely hammer that position in the draft. He, along with Zabel, would give the Seahawks 2 strong and reliable blockers who could play any position. Now, back-to-back offensive line picks. That would be quite the statement from John Schneider on getting this offensive line right. A lot of y'all, and understandably so, have been in on John's ass over the last several weeks with the lack thereof of offensive line signings and free agency, and then all these rumblings that we've heard about the wide receiver position potentially getting selected, and you use your first 2 picks on the offensive line, that would send quite a statement. Let's tell you more about Bech Jonah. Played for Arizona, and, this guy was just a big fish. That's what he was. He was just swallowing up all the defenders there at Arizona from 2022 to 2024. An all Big 12 honorable mention in 2024. An all Pac-12 RIP honorable mention in 2023. Did it in 2 different conferences. His grades last year, overall grade of 75.9. Pass block grade, outstanding, 82.7. Run block grade, could use some work, 64.2. Allowed 4 sacks and 1 penalty. Taking it a step further, gave up 2 hits, 9 hurries, 1 penalty. I can live with that. Now, the scouting report goes as follows. He's got a wide-bodied frame. He's big. Solid initial bursts out of the stance, which you can't say about everybody. He can steal leverage. The defender thinks he's got the moves like Jagger, and then Bech Jonah shows up and says, no, you don't. He's got good spatial awareness, and he's got below-average recovery skills. So when the defender does end up showing the moves like Jagger, then he's like, oh, no, what do I do? Oh, no, what do I do? He's got to figure it out. But nonetheless, I think he's a good prospect for the second round. What do you think about drafting Bech Jonah? Y for yes, N for no. Chime in the comments section. Tell me what you think. We will be live for the 2025 NFL Draft right here on Seattle Seahawks Today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If I got to be here, that means you got to be here. All right? Does that sound like a deal? Subscribe now. Let's get 20 subs off today's video. Let's make sure we're all here. We're partying and enjoying the draft together right here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. We'll see you next week. Let's go to 52 now. The second round pick of Seattle. This is where we find Texas Christian University, a wide receiver, Jack Bech, at 52 overall to the Seahawks. Here is Mel on the selection. Seattle has already started rebuilding the wide receiver room after moving on from DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, but the roster is slot heavy with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp right now. Bech can play outside, was great at the Senior Bowl, and caught 9 touchdowns last season. Now, I'm going to be real with y'all. We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. When you think wide receiver, we think short, scrawny, speed guys, typically. I'm just being honest, all right? Don't hate me on that. I'm just being real with y'all. He is not your typical wide receiver. He's got a good track record of being tough and reliable as a pass catcher. Who was the last big, tough wide receiver you could think of? They don't come around too often. Jack Bech, he's one of a kind. And I know a lot of people are talking about his teammate, Savion Williams, who is a pretty intriguing prospect in his own right. But Jack Bech was a lot more productive than Savion Williams was at TCU. And I think Jack Bech, one of the reasons I like this pick from Mel here is he, I think, has the track record, more production, and also is a better fit for what Seattle is looking for. Second team All Big 12 in 2024. He was the MVP of the Senior Citizen Bowl in 2025. And here's what we're talking about the production last year. 62 catches, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Oh, and how about this? Only 1 drop. Just 1. That's great. That is great. His scouting report goes as follows. Strong and dependable hands. All right? I wouldn't want to shake his hand. He might break my hand. He is a good route runner. He is a ball winner. Pause. Short area quickness. He lacks ideal explosiveness, however. So, who's a player the Seahawks should draft? We've gone over a couple that Mel has selected for us. Who comes to mind for you? Wait in the comments section. Let us know who you'd like to see end up in Seattle. Today's show is sponsored by our friends at Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more. Game Time makes tickets faster and easier to get, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. I'm going to be headed to some NBA playoff games here soon. I don't want to make y'all mad at me, so I won't tell you what team I am going to go see in the NBA playoffs. But I'm going to have a great time. And maybe you can't make it to an NBA playoff game. You're in luck because Game Time's got tickets for all sorts of events in Seattle. You choose the event you want to go to, like, let's say, the Mariners. And they got the prices listed. Choose your seat just like that. You're checking out on Game Time with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time is the official ticket partner of Seattle Seahawks today, where they offer last-minute deals where you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. Game Time Picks makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. They have their zone deals where you can save more when you choose a section. Let Game Time choose the seats. They have their all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. They have their seat views where you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price is guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app and use that promo code ChatSports for $20 off. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of Seattle Seahawks today. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Couple more picks for you. Mel has Seattle going with Florida State defensive tackle Joshua Farmer at 82 overall. We're getting a Farmer with this pick. Let's find out more about the Farmer. Farmer is disruptive, and he'd give the Seahawks more depth on the inside. He had 9 sacks over the past 2 seasons. And he is thick. Not T-H-I-C-C. I wasn't looking at that area. No. He's T-H-I-C-K thick. The thick you want in a good football player. He's bringing that to the table. And there's production to show for it, too, with the thickness. 32 tackles, 8 TFLs, 4 sacks this past year, 26 pressures the year prior. 32 tackles, 7 TFLs, 5 sacks, 20 pressures, and a forced fumble to go along with that. And then the final pick from Mel Kiper Jr. is Cal corner Noel Williams at 92 overall to the Seahawks. More from Mel. He writes this. Seahawks have Reek Wallen outside and Devin Witherspoon in the slot. but the other corner spot could use a boost, and if nothing else, more depth. With great instincts and press coverage traits, Williams led the nation with 7 interceptions last season. Elite ball production. And what you would hope is that easily translates to the next level. And this is what I mean. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interceptions in 2024, along with 17 pass breakups, 52 tackles, 1 TFL, 1 forced fumble. That's pretty good. And then I take a step further look at the coverage stats. QB rating allowed was only a 40.9. Woo! Woo! I'm excited. And I'm getting this guy in round 3. CC, I'm very intrigued. I like this pick. You did good, Mel. You did good. So, how would you grade Kiper and Yates' ESPN Mock Draft? A, B, C, D, or F? I'll give you my grade in a moment. I want to hear from you guys first. Give me your grade in the comment section below. So to recap, here is how Mel Kiper did since Field Yates felt like he was too good to make the Seahawks picks. Grey Zabel at 18. Big Jonah, the fish, at 50. Jack Bech, who is very athletic for a white receiver, at 52. Joshua Farmer, the farmer, at 82. And then we got Noel Williams, one of the most productive corners in college football, at 92. I look at this, I see substance and not flash. And honestly, that's okay. I'm satisfied. I am very pleased. If this is what ends up being the first 3 rounds, sounds great to me. I'll give it an A-. It's not perfect, but it's very good. It's very good. Let's run through the rest of the picks of what Mel and Field did for around the NFL. Tennessee at 1 goes Cam Ward. Travis Hunter goes to Cleveland at 2. Abdul Carter goes to the Giants at 3. Will Campbell goes to the Patriots at 4. Mason Graham to the Jags at 5. And then at 6, Ashton Genty. 7, the Jets go Armand Mimbo. At 8, the Panthers go with Jalen Walker. 9, Shedeur Sanders falls all the way to 9 for Shedorlands. Then at 10, Tyler Warren to the Bears. The Bears. Then at 11, San Francisco goes Kelvin Banks. 12, Dallas goes Matthew Golden. Back-to-back Longhorns. 13, Will Johnson goes to the Miami Dolphins. 14, the Colts go Colston Loveland. 15, Mike Green, the edge rusher from Marshall, goes to Atlanta. 16, Barron, another Longhorn, to the Arizona Cardinals. Going to the enemy, though. 17, Walter Nolan goes to the Bengals, the defensive tackle from Mississippi. Seahawks pick at 18, Grey Zabel. Then at 19, Tampa Bay goes with Nick Emanwari. 20, Omarion Hampton, the running back from North Carolina, goes to the Broncos. 21, Derek Harmon to the Steelers. 22, Emeka Ibuka to the Chargers. 23, the Packers go with Shamar Stewart. 24, Donovan Jackson to Minnesota. Then at 25, T-Mac, wide receiver from Arizona, goes to the Texans. The Rams, they go corner with Maxwell Harrison. Some people have a second-round grade on him. Might be a reach for Sneed boy. Then at 27, Starks goes to the Ravens. 28, Mikael Williams goes to Detroit. 29, a trade. Browns jump in to the Commander's spot. They take Jackson Dart, quarterback from Ole Miss. Then, staying in Oxford, we go Trey Amos, the corner from Ole Miss, to Buffalo. Chiefs go with Josh Connerly Jr. And then Jahad Campbell, linebacker from Bama, at 32 to round off the mock draft. If you made it to the end of today's video, that means you're a real one. Spam 12 in the comments section. I want to hear from all the 12s. Appreciate y'all. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. A lot of fun. Always talking Seahawks football. We'll see you next time. All right. Grade the mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. How did Mel Kiper and his frat boy Field Yates do? A, B, C, D, or F. I gave an A-. I think they did solid for Seattle's picks. I know we got to catch up on some supers. Starting with Bill Pollock. What a show, folks. And we still got another segment. We got another segment to go. We got a mailbag coming up. Start using hashtag Seahawks or super chatting to get on the mailbag. What are the grades? John went B. Myron went A+. Mac went F. Pablo went B. Lon went A. Bill Pollock went D+. Lon went A. So we're kind of all over the place. We're all over the place. Bill, how did you get people talking about Farmers Insurance? My father used to work at Farmers. He was an agent. Now he moved over to AAA. We are farmers. Mailbag coming up in just a bit. Hashtag Seahawks super chat to get on the mailbag. Bill Pollock with a $10 super chat. Match my alcohol intake, freak, for the pod. I will, Bill Pollock. How's your cousin David doing? How's David Pollock doing? I haven't seen him on TV in a while. Bill, give me an update on David. What's he doing? We missed him on College Game Day. We need to get rid of Desmond Howard and bring back David Pollock. They should have never gotten rid of David Pollock. Desmond sucks. Desmond should have left a long time ago. Cheers to you, Bill. Yeah, let me know how David's doing, Bill. I need an update on David Pollock. What else we got? Pablo Domingo. Tyler, WrestleMania this weekend, Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. Tyler Jones, you doing a great job. Pablo, I am excited. I cannot wait for WrestleMania. I'm going to be watching on Saturday and Sunday both. I am a casual when it comes to wrestling, I'll be honest, but I am all in. I am all in on WrestleMania this weekend. I'm intrigued by John Cena being kind of the heel now. That intrigues me. Also, CM Punk. Is this going to be his moment? Is this going to be his time? CM Punk hasn't had a stage like this before. This is the biggest moment of CM Punk's life. This is bigger than when he dated Michelle Beadle at ESPN. This takes the cake. And Cody Rhodes, is he still going to be the undisputed champion? You know, he got to finish his story last year, winning the world title as the undisputed champion. And that was great. Cody's been a great ambassador for the WWE over this last year. The way that he's carried himself and built this brand. In the post-Vince McMahon era with Triple H and Nick Khan leading the way, they gave the keys to Cody Rhodes and said, we want you to be the new face of the WWE. We're giving you a lot of power and responsibility. And Cody has done an incredible job. And I'm proud of Cody. I am proud of Cody. And, you know, I wonder what's next for Cody. Eventually, he's going to lose that title, right, at some point. I don't know if it's Sunday or if it's 6 months or a year from now. But what's going to be the rebound like for Cody? What's the next chapter in his story? Because it's going to be hard, I think, for Cody Rhodes to build upon what he did. Did Cody Rhodes already peak by finishing his story? Or could they go the heel route like they did John Cena potentially? I got a lot of questions, Pablo, for what they do next with Cody Rhodes. I think that's a lot to figure out in his future. But I like Cody Rhodes. I can't wait. And I'm hearing Tom Brady is supposed to be there. Could we get a surprise match involving Tom Brady? I would be all in to see Tom Brady in the ring. How about this? Here's an idea. Hear me out on this, folks. What about Tom Brady versus Pat McAfee? Wouldn't that be great? Isn't that a great idea? Tom Brady and Pat McAfee in the ring. Who do you got? Who wins that? Tom Brady or Pat McAfee? Pat's under some fire as of late, too, with some a bit of controversy. Ralph with a $5 super chat. Bill says Brady versus the personal trainer. The jiu-jitsu instructor, that'd be great. That'd be great. Marcus Imbo from Purdue. Yeah, he's a good football player. That's a beer cheers for you. Yeah, sure. And then we got to spin the wheel of punishment. Or let's tell you what. Let me make an offer to make life easier on you. Pablo, we're having a little technical difficulties with the wheel of punishment. Do I have your permission to chug a beer? Pablo? Let me see. Pablo, can I make you an offer? Can I chug a beer? How about this? Pablo, because we have technical difficulties with the wheel of punishment, can I chug a beer and do 20 jumping jacks for the wheel of punishment? If I have your approval, Pablo, I will do that to pay off your 20 because we're having some technical difficulties with the wheel of punishment. If you approve of that, then we'll be squared away from there. Up next, mailbag. I think we got plenty of questions. That's from today. That's from today too. Yep. That's from today too. Yeah. Lon's saying do the arm up one. Oh, I don't know. All right. So Pablo, I'm gonna chug a beer and I'm gonna do 20 jumping jacks for the wheel of punishment because we can't get the wheel on screen. He says, hell yeah, I got his approval. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you for making life easier on Big Text. Glad we can negotiate. Cheers to you, Pablo. Go Hawks. All right, 20 jumping jacks. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, there we go. So here's what's ahead, folks. We got our mailbag, our final segment. We are 110 away from a second boot. Can we do a second boot before the end of the day? Throwing it out there. We're within striking distance. I'm going to pop in another pouch. You need a pouch, Tex? Texter, today we have Zone Dragon Fruit 9. One suck. Everyone knows the rules. Tex, give the folks your review. What do you think of the Zone Dragon Fruits?
It's grown on me. I used to not like the flavor very much.
You didn't like it before?
Yeah. I'm not like a big dragon fruit in real life kind of guy, so
okay.
I've tried it, didn't like the fruit, but it tastes a little bit different, so I've gotten used to it. It's acquired taste for me.
It gives me the best buzz, I feel.
Yeah, I feel that.
Can you take me higher to a place where lions be? Maybe we need John Mayer to sing some Creed. Bill Pollock, what about that? Since apparently it was blasphemous what I said comparing him to Tom Petty. How about John Mayer do some Creed? That would move mountains. That'd be great. I saw John Mayer in concert once with Bill Pollock. He denies that I was even there, but I was there, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. Up next, mailbag time. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get your questions in. Let's react to that. And then we'll continue here on this live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, starting right now. Here we go. It's time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. And we are getting very, very close to the 2025 NFL Draft. You guys got a lot of trade ideas. I already took a little sneak peek, and I'm seeing Jalen Ramsey mentioned, Mark Andrews, among others. We will dive in and answer all of your rumors, mailbag questions coming up here on today's show. Let's start with A $20 super chat from Pablo, who writes in. Why the Seattle Seahawks want to trade for Tyreek Hill, 31 years old. Let's go Seahawks. I saw you said T-Mac, Tyler Jones. I like Matthew Golden or Trey Harris or Kyle Williams. So here's the deal with Tyreek Hill. He's just 31 years old, $10 million base salary, and no guaranteed money beyond this season. And you might only have to give up a second or third round pick. And you had to add a whole nother element to the offense that isn't there. If you can get Tyreek Hill, and that's a big if. I don't think Miami wants to trade him, but if you can, I would do it in a heartbeat. Of the receivers you mentioned in the draft, T-Mac's the guy. I think he is a sure thing. He is going to be good in this league. He and Tyler Warren, I would put all my chips in the table that they're going to be successful at the next level. I like the idea of T-Mac. I know that Seattle needs offensive line help, but if T-Mac's there at 18, it's going to be hard to say no. And then Pablo follows that up with a $50 super chat. Thank you, Pablo. Tyler Jones. I saw Xavier Watts highlights. Xavier Watts compares to Kyle Hamilton, Julian Love, and Kobe Bryant. Tyler Jones. Hi. Who do you want in the backfield with Julian Love and Kobe Bryant? Nick Imanwari or Xavier Watts from Malachi Starks? I'm super excited. So, Nick, I don't think is going to be around when Seattle picks at 18. Malachi Starks, I don't think Seattle's going to go get, but Xavier Watts, second round, extremely productive. I don't understand why this guy isn't being talked about as a first-round talent. He was one of the most productive safeties in all of college football and played on a team that went to the national championship game. And you pair him up with Kobe Bryant and Julian Love, all of a sudden, I think it's realistic that we could be talking about one of the best safety units in the NFL. He is that good. Xavier Watts, I'm all in. I would love the idea of having Xavier Watts in Seattle. I think it makes a ton of sense. You're on to something there, Pablo. You know ball. Then John Smith with a $50 super chat writes in. Totally voting for Pablo. Who doesn't want to vote for Pablo? Mock draft ratings have players rated all over the place. Mimbo and Campbell are a pipe dream, but could Banks follow us at 18? Brock Heward loves this guy. I love Kelvin Banks too. I don't know if he's a guard or if he's a tackle at the next level. I don't care. I'll find a spot for him. He can play on my team. If we have to move Abraham Lucas around, whatever it may be, we will find a spot for Kelvin Banks one way or the other. And I think Kelvin Banks was the best lineman in college football this past season. He made a seamless transition from the Big 12 to the SEC. If Kelvin Banks is there, it's going to be hard to say no. I love the idea of Kelvin Banks. But Seattle's been kind of quiet when it comes to Kelvin Banks over the last couple of weeks. We haven't really heard much of any momentum there. We'll see if things change. Thank you, John. Pablo with a $100 super chat. Bang! Says, John Schneider and Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak need to focus on the offensive line, Tyler Jones. What's your plan for Abraham Lucas, backup offensive tackle, who will fall to Seattle at number 18, Josh Simmons from Ohio State or Josh Conley from Oregon? So here's the deal. If you draft an offensive lineman in the first or second round, they're not backing up anybody. Whether you move Lucas to guard or you play one of those guys at guard, you're putting your best five out there, and they're starting one way or another. I like Josh Conley more than I do Josh Simmons. He's healthier. Simmons, I have an injury concern. Simmons, if he's healthy, could be the best lineman in the draft, but I don't know if he's going to stay healthy. I want an offensive lineman at 18, but I don't know if I can say no to T-Mac if he's still around there. That's if you do go receiver, whether it's T-Mac or Golden, you better sure things up on the offensive line in the second round. Just saying. John Smith. We did pay off a boot, courtesy of John Smith, on our live show on Wednesday. Any chance Hill's lower production, talking about Tyreek Hill, may have been a result of some QB issues in Miami last year? QB wide receiver room is good. I don't see a proven deep threat, and Hill would add that. Hill would be a natural fit in this Seahawks offense. He would offer something that they don't have with the deep threat ability, the raw speed. He's as fast as any player in the NFL. Yes, Tua being banged up was a problem that hurt Tyreek Hill, that hurt Jalen Waddle, and that entire offense. And it was only a year ago where Tyreek Hill had over 1,700 yards. And the thing I point to with Tyreek Hill is his ability to compartmentalize things. He's had his off-the-field issues, but he still has a Super Bowl title. He has still played an extremely high level. He is well on his way to the Hall of Fame, and you don't have to give up much for him. And he only has this year when it comes to guaranteed money. If you can trade for Tyreek Hill, you ought to do it. Ralph says, have a shot, Mr. Jones. Thank you. Fullback choice. I like the idea of Cam Scatterbo, converting him to a fullback and still using him as a running back as well. I think that would be a great fit for Seattle if they could do that potentially with Cam Scatterbo. And then Ralph writes in, Marcus Imbo from Purdue. I like him. I like him too. I think he would be potentially a good fit for Seattle. I think you're on to something there. Folks, want to make sure you subscribe to Seattle Seahawks Today, but also you have your notifications turned on. That way you're the first to know when we have new content here on the channel. We're going to be live for the NFL Draft. We bring you our daily news and rumors. We also do breaking news, Q&A mailbags, where we answer your questions like what you're seeing right now. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. That way you're the first to know when we have new content here on the channel. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. Hawks Nation writes in, Fearless Leader. I am your Fearless Leader. Would it make sense to trade for Jalen Ramsey? Ooh. So we've talked a lot about the corner spot. And Jalen Ramsey, he is still that guy. He is still that dude, folks. His production is still really good. Is it what it was a few years ago when he was in Los Angeles or Jacksonville? Maybe not. But he is still one of the very best in the league. Played in all 17 games last year, 60 tackles, 6 TFLs, 11 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. He'd be a massive upgrade from Josh Jobe. But you got to pay him, and you probably have to give up a decent chunk of change. I just don't see it happening. And Jalen Ramsey, although he's good right now, I don't know how many good years he has left. Maybe this year, maybe next year, but beyond that, I'd be surprised. So I'd lean towards no. What do you guys think? Should the Seahawks trade for Jalen Ramsey? Type T for trade, P for pass. Let us know on our pinned comment today what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seat, and their lowest prices guaranteed, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Seattle Seahawks today. Maybe you want to go see your Seattle Mariners. Maybe you want to go to an NBA playoff game. They got it all for you, folks. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, and just like that, you're checking out on Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. Game Time Picks makes last-minute ticket buying even easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. They have their zone deals where you can save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. They have their all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. They have their seat views where you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price is guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Trip Bayless, who I saw just recently endorsed his buddy Stephen A. Smith for president. That's a whole nother topic. He writes in, what about a trade for Mark Andrews? So, Mark Andrews, I've been a big fan of since he was at the University of Oklahoma. The guy has just kicked diabetes ass. I mean, it's been remarkable what he's done from his college career to his NFL career. But he's a bit older now, and his production isn't quite what it was a few years ago. Remember back in 2021 when he had over 1,300 yards? Well, he played in 17 games this year, and he got basically half of what he did. Now, his touchdowns, he had 11 of those, and that's way more than anybody like Noah Fant could ever even dream of. But I don't know how much Mark Andrews necessarily has left. Could you potentially take a flyer on him? Maybe give up a third or fourth, potentially, but then paying him too? I know that the Ravens are shopping him, but this one would surprise me because I think Mark Andrews is closer to the end than he is his prime at this point. Should the Seahawks trade for Mark Andrews? Type Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in the comments section. Tell us if they should trade for Mark Andrews or not. Time for a couple more questions here. Let's start with Mike. Mike wants to know, should the Hawks go wide receiver, offensive tackle in the draft? If T-Mac's there at 18, I think I'm taking T-Mac. If he's not, if it's Golden or some of these others, I'm going offensive tackle. And I know that sounds crazy. T-Mac didn't even seem like a possibility a few weeks ago. But I think if that's what it comes down to, that's what you roll with if it gets to that point. Last question. King writes in, can Seattle trade out of the first round and pick up even more value? I mean, you can, but you have 4 picks in the second round and the third round. Why? Why would you? Stay at 18, use your picks in the second and third round, whether it's staying there or trading up potentially. You got plenty of picks. I don't really see reason to trade down, but you never know. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now to Seattle Seahawks Today, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. There we go. All right. We're through all our segments. This has been a long show, folks. Here's what we'll do. We can stay live for a little bit, but we need to get going here soon. So I'll put a minute on the clock. If we get a super chat of any amount, we can keep the show going. We're about 110 away from a boot. We'll see if you guys could do one more boot or if we can sign off. Super chat of any amount, we keep the show going. Otherwise, we'll sign off and call it a day. First time super chat is get the Seahawks chant. $5, do a beer cheers. $10, do some shots. $20, spin the wheel of punishment. $50, we will do a beer bong. Tex, what a show, huh? I mean, what a wild day today.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. A lot of technical issues, but we worked through them, got through it.
The 12s delivered.
That's right, they did. Appreciate y'all for all the super chats. Really helpful. Appreciate y'all helping us grow the channel, get it out to more Seahawks fans out there.
Oh, yeah. I think it's very obvious, Tex, the 12s are excited about the draft.
Oh, definitely. No doubt. They should be excited. A lot of pressure on John Schneider to get this thing right.
Yeah. We'll be live for the draft next week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're also back tomorrow, by the way. 11 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to do a mock draft that will be a simulcast with our other Chat Sports channels. And it'll be 3 rounds, and I get to make the picks in real time. So don't miss out on that. 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. We'll see you then. Folks, thanks for joining us. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. for our mock draft, our live mock draft here on the channel. Have a great night, everybody. So long.